Okay, this is Deadly Void with Diablo 3 Strategy Guide on another guide, and this is on the auction house, but more of how to price your item. And as you can see here, I have sold a number of items, so I do have a decent understanding of it, and I'd like to share it with you today. And maybe we'll even be able to find one in the time that it takes for me to have this video cast. Okay, so in terms of how to price your item, um, you need to understand a few basic things. The first is the fact that because strength characters are only 1/5 of the classes, it's only 1/5 of the demand, while dexterity and intel is 2/5 of it. So dexterity and intelligence are twice as in demand as strength, and you will find that strength items are a lot cheaper to find than good dexterity and intel of the equivalent type. Okay, so we'll go through a basic run through of finding an item that's of similar stats, and then we'll figure out how to price it, and I'll explain it to you now. Okay, so I have right here Wild Armbands of Pain, 150 armor, level 57. It's 139 dex, 69 vitality. So we'll go to the search here. We go to armor, we go to bracers. Sure, we can go to the 57, but I'll just leave it out there for now. You go to the dexterity, and you want to get something that's similar to your stats. So the minimum value, since mine's at 139, I'll have the minimum value is 130 and see what pops up. And the vitality is, I think, 69, so we'll do 65 right here. And because we're trying to actually sell it and not just put it on the market to show other people, we'll have a max bout of, let's start off with 100,000. And you see there's not very much in terms of things that are out there, and everything's around the item that I have. So it's a very similar in terms of the stats. What you have to be looking for, I think the biggest thing, is the time left. This is the best indicator of how the pricing is. If it's overpriced, it'll have anything that's less than about 2 hours outside the very beginning of the auction. And the auctions now are 36 hours, so it'll show up when you first place it on the market as 1 day, 12 hours. And anything that's, I guess you could say, hot is 1 day, 11 hours, and usually that's in that hour you either sell it or not. So it's a very good indicator of if things are overpriced in terms of the buyout. This is the pricing of it, and in terms of demand, you see that there's not very many that are in here. So I have a lot of leniency in terms of my pricing. If you can see here, the buyout is 85,000, and you can actually use your completed tabs to see, okay, well, let's say I sold some of these before, some were 40k. I believe I had some at 60k, even going up to 65k, and they sold. And the way that you find that out is right before you place it on the market, because it sells in the first hour, you're going against the competition within that hour. Realistically speaking, you're only going within that hour. And let's say that I do want to sell the item really quick. I just want to turn it over. Okay, so the cheapest one here is 85,000, and it's definitely overpriced because the time left is way more than 1 day, 12 hours, and there's not that much on the market there. So what we'll do is we will find it, of course, and you can see here I have a number of mules, so I do have my items placed there. I think 60. Previously, it took a little bit of time to sell. It didn't really speed up when I went lower, so I think pricing it around 65,000 is good. And one of the new additions they had to it is the fact that if you just have the starting price, you can just tab and it'll autofill it right there. The transaction fee is 15%, so you can be using that in terms of pricing your items or how much you expect to get from it. All you need to do is, once you figure that out, the fact that it's lower, this item that I'm selling is similar stats, it's a lot lower in terms of the pricing, and it probably will go for around 60 to 65. So you'll put it on the market there, and I lost it. So 60,000 is a good amount. You'll create your auction, it'll show up right here, and when it's done, again, it'll be right here. And I have been selling them probably around 20 to 30 minutes each of it, and that's the very basics of it. So to go over this podcast in terms of, or this video cast rather, in terms of what you're looking for, you need to see the time left to see what's overpriced. If you really want to sell it quick, what you'll do is you'll undercut the market pretty nicely. And you don't want to have something that, in terms of your competition, for it to be 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long, because people won't search for it. And the visibility of it is very important in selling it. And as you can see here, I have a decent amount of gold, so this is the general ideas that I use when I do price my items. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll be having some more videos as well as more in-depth analysis, including price breakdowns. We'll have item prefixes and suffixes later on in our pro guide, and it'll really help for you to find out the very best of the best items, what you're looking for in terms of what classes you are. And again, thanks for joining us. Bye.